The book of Proverbs. The book of Proverbs is undoubtedly one of my favorite books in the Bible. As I've said before, I like to use the Bible as a sense of reference to live life. It's a textbook to live life. I use the Bible as study material to learn something so I can implement it into my life. And Proverbs is, I've found, my favorite book in telling me specifically and very clearly how to live life, what to avoid, what to do, how to act, how to think, and the constant pursuit for wisdom, because with wisdom, everything else comes. With that being said, I'm not going to speak too much or add too much to the sayings of Proverbs because the wisdom and the way it was written is borderline perfect. So, with that being said, let's begin. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Do not forsake the law of your mother, for there will be a graceful ornament on your head. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path. For their feet run to evil. So are the ways of everyone who is greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its owner. Turn at my rebuke. Surely I will pour out my spirit on you. I will make my words known to you. Whoever listens to me will dwell safely and will be secure without fear or evil. Lord gives wisdom. From his mouth come knowledge and understanding. He guards the paths of the justice. My son, do not forget my law, but let your heart keep my commands. For length of days and long life and peace they will add to you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Honor the Lord with your possessions, for whom the Lord loves he corrects. Happy is the man who finds wisdom, for these proceeds are better than the profits of silver. Do not be afraid, for the Lord will be your confidence and will keep your foot from being caught. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do so. Do not devise evil against your neighbor. Do not envy the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. But he blesses the home of the just. He scorns the scornful, gives grace to the humble. Wise shall inherit glory. Shame shall be the legacy of fools. Get wisdom, get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. She will bring you honor. Do not turn to the right or left. Remove your foot from evil. Preserve discretion. Keep knowledge, for the lips of an immoral woman drip honey. In the end, she is bitter. Her ways are unstable. You do not know them. How I have hated instruction, and my heart despised correction. I was on the verge of total ruin. You are snared by the words of your mouth. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall poverty come on you like a prowler. Suddenly he shall be broken without remedy. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. Heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil. The false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. Father's command, do not forsake the law of your mother. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart. For evil woman, a man is reduced to a crust of bread. An adulteress will prey upon his precious life. So is he who goes in his neighbor's wife. Whoever touches her shall not be innocent. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy himself when he's starving. Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He who does so destroys his own soul. Say to wisdom, you are my sister. He did not know it would cost him his life. Do not let your heart turn aside to her ways. Do not stray in her paths, for she has cast down many wounded, and all who were slain by her who were slain by her were strong men. Her house is the way to hell, descending to the chambers of death. Wisdom is better than rubies. I love those who love me, and those who seek me diligently will find me. Riches and honor are with me. I was beside him as a master craftsman. Blessed is the man who listens to me, who sins against who sins against me wrongs his own soul. All those who hate me love death. Forsake foolishness and live in the way of understanding. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself, and he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Give instructions to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. A foolish woman is clamorous. She's simple and knows nothing. A wise son makes a glad father. A foolish son is the grief of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivers from death. Lord will not allow the righteous soul to famish, but he casts away the desire of the wicked. He who has the slack hand becomes poor. The hand of the diligent makes rich. Blessings are on the head of the righteous, but violence covers the mouth of the wicked. The wise in heart will receive commands, but a prating fool will fall. He who walks with integrity walks securely, but he who perverts his ways will become known. Prating fool will fall. The mouth of the righteous is a well of life. The violence covers the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirs up strife. Love covers all sin. Wisdom is found on the lips of who has understanding. Wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. Rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. The labor of the righteous leads to life, the wages of the wicked to sin. He who keeps instructions is the way of the life, and he who refuses correction goes astray. Whoever hides hatred has lying lips, and whoever spreads slander is a fool. In multitude of words sin is not lacking. Restrains his lips is wise. The tongue of the righteous is silver. Heart of the wicked is worth little. The lips of the righteous feed many. Fools die for lack of wisdom. When pride comes, then comes shame. With the humble comes wisdom. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. Hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor. He who is devoid of wisdom despises his neighbor. Man of understanding holds his peace. A merciful man does good for his own soul, but he who is cruel troubles his own flesh. Though they join forces, the wicked will not be unpunished, but the prosperity of the righteous will be delivered. There is one who scatters yet increases more, and there is one who withholds more than is right, but it leads to poverty. The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will be watered himself. Blessing will be on the head of who sells. Who earnestly seeks good finds favor. Trouble will come to him who seeks evil. He who trusts in his riches will fall. Righteous will flourish like foliage. He who troubles his own house will inherit the wind. Fool will servant to the wise of heart. He who hates correction is stupid. An excellent wife is the crown of her husband. Who causes shame is like rottenness in the bones. The house of the righteous will stand. A righteous man regards the life of his animal, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel. He who speaks truth declares righteousness, but a false witness, deceit. Lying lips are an abomination to the Lord, but those who deal truthfully are his delight. A prudent man conceals knowledge, but the heart of fools proclaims foolishness. The hand of the diligent will rule, but the lazy man will put to forced labor. Anxiety in the heart of a man causes depression, but a good word makes it glad. The righteous should choose his friends carefully, for the way of the wicked leads them astray. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is man's precious possession. The soul of the lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. A righteous man hates lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and comes to shame. There is one who makes himself rich, yet has nothing, and one who makes himself poor, yet has great riches. The ransom of a man's life is his riches, but the poor does not hear rebuke. Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished, but he who gathers by labor will increase. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snares of death. He who walks with the wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. A good man leaves inheritance to his children, and his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. The righteous eats to satisfy of his soul, but the stomach of the wicked shall be in want. He who walks in the uprightness fears the Lord, but he who is perverse in his ways despises him. The simple believes every word, but the prudent considers well in his steps. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but a fool rages and is self-confident. The poor man is hated even by his own neighbor, but the rich has many friends. He who despises his neighbor sins, but he who has mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not go astray who devise evil? But mercy and truth belong to those who devise good. In all labor there is profit, but idle chatter leads only to poverty. He who is slow to wrath has great understanding, but he who is impulsive exalts folly. Envy is rottenness to the bones. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but by sorrow of heart the spirit is broken. A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger allies contention. The way of the lazy man is like a hedge of thorns, but the way of the upright is a highway. A wise son makes a father glad, but a foolish man despises his mother. The Lord will destroy the house of the proud. He will establish the boundary of the widow. He who is greedy for gain troubles his own house, but he who hates bribes will live. The Lord is far from wicked. He hears the prayer of the righteous. Commit your works to the Lord, and your thoughts will be established. Righteousness lips are the delight of kings, and they love him who speaks what is right. How much better to get wisdom than gold, and to get understanding to be chosen rather than silver. Better to be humble with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Pleasant words are like honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the bones. The person who labors for himself, for his hungry mouth drives him on. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who's glad at calamity will not go unpunished. He who justifies the wicked and he who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the just, both of them alike are abominations to the Lord. He who has the knowledge spare his word, and a man understanding is of a calm spirit. A man who isolates himself seeks his own desire. He rages against all wise judgment. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than the one who is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also, it is not good for a soul to be without knowledge. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. He who speaks lies shall perish. The fear of the Lord leads to life, and he who has it will be abided to satisfaction. He will not be visited with evil. He who mistreats his father and chases away his mother is a son who causes shame and brings reproach. Do not love sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes, and you will be satisfied with bread. A man's steps are of the Lord. How can a man understand his own way? Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do righteousness and justice is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. A haughty look, a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked are sin. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who's hasty surely to poverty. Whoever shuts his ears to cry of the poor will also cry himself and not be heard. He who loves pleasure will be a poor man. He who loves wine and oil will not be rich. The desire of lazy man kills him, for his hands refuse to labor. He covets greedily all day long, but the righteous gives and does not spare. There is no wisdom or understanding. A good man is to be chosen rather than great riches. Loving favor, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. Loving favor rather than silver and gold. By humility and the fear of the Lord are the riches and honor and life. He who has a generous eye will be blessed, for he gives of his bread to the poor. He who loves purity of heart and has the grace on his lips, the king will be his friend. He who oppresses the poor to increase his riches, and he who gives to the rich will surely come to poverty. Make no friendships with an angry man, and with furious man do not go, lest you learn his way and set a snare of your soul. Do not remove the ancient landmark which your father has set. Do you see a man who excels in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before unknown men. Do not overwork to be rich. Because of your own understanding, cease. Will you set your eyes on which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away like eagles toward heaven. Do not speak in hearing of a fool. He will despise the wisdom of your words. Let's repeat that one more time. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. One more time. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the wisdom of your words. Do not withhold correction from a child, for if you beat him with a rod, he will not die. You shall beat him with a rod and deliver his soul from hell. My son, if your heart is wise, my heart will rejoice. Indeed, I myself, yes, my inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak right things. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but be failures for the fear of the Lord all the day. For surely there is a hereafter, and your hope will not be cut off. Listen to your father who begot you, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. For the heart devises violence, and their lips talk of troublemaking. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls. Do not let your heart be glad when he stumbles. Do not say, I will do to him just as he's done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. Let's repeat that one more time. Do not say, I will do to him just as he has done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. Do not exalt yourself in the presence of the king, and do not stand in the place of the great. For it is better that he say to you, come up here. Whoever falsely boasts of giving is like clouds and window without rain. If your enemy is hungry, give him bread to eat. If he's thirsty, give him water to drink. For so you will heap coals of fire on his head, and the Lord will reward you. The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than seven men who can answer sensibly. Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, I was only joking. Do not boast about tomorrow, for you do not know what the day may bring forth. Let another man praise you and not your own mouth. Stone is heavy and sand is weighty. A fool's wrath is heavier. Wrath is cruel and anger a torrent. Open rebuke is better. Faith wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. A satisfied soul loathes the honeycomb, but to hungry soul every bitter thing is sweet. And the sweetness of man's friend gives delight by hearty counsel. Do not forsake your own friend or your father's friend. My son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him who reproaches me. He who blesses his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it will be counted a curse to him. As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend. Whoever keeps the fig tree will eat its fruit. So he who waits on his master will be honored. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds, for riches are not forever, nor does crown endure all generations. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand all. Better is poor who walks in his integrity than the one perverse in his ways through to be rich. That was repeated for a reason, word for word. Let's repeat it one more time. Be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds, for riches are not forever, nor does the crown endure to all generations. Evil men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand all. Better is poor who walks in his integrity than the one perverse in his ways, though he be rich. He who covers his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. Happy is the man who's always reverent, but he who hardens his heart will fall into calamity. A faithful man will be abound with blessings, but he who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. A man with an evil eye hastens after riches and does not consider the poverty that will come upon him. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked man rules, the people groan. If a wise man contends with a foolish man, whether the fool rages or laughs, there is no peace. A fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. The poor man and the oppressor have this in common. The Lord gives light to the eyes of both. Do you see man hasty in his words? There is more hope for a fool than for him. A man's pride will bring him low, but the humble in spirit will retain honor. Every word of God is pure. He is a shield to those who put their trust in him. Do not add to his words. There is generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes, yet it is not washed from its filthiness. There is generation whose teeth are like swords, fangs are like knives, devour the poor from off the earth, needy from among men. The leech has two daughters, give and give. Three things that are never satisfied: grave, barren womb, earth that is not satisfied with water, the eye that mocks his father and scorns the obedience of his mother. Ravens of the valley will pick it out, and the young eagles will eat it out. Will eat it. I want to repeat one verse out of that specific part that I just read that opened my eyes. Every word of God is pure. He is a shield of those who put their trust in him. Do not add to his words. There is a generation that curses its father and does not bless its mother. There is a generation that is pure in its own eyes, yet it is not washed from its filth. There is a generation whose teeth are like swords, and whose fangs are like knives, to devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. This is the way of an adulterous woman. She eats and wipes her mouth. I have done no wickedness. Do not give your strength to women, nor your ways to which destroy kings. It is not for kings or Lemuel. It is not for kings to drink wine, nor for princes intoxicating drink. Give strong drink to him who is perishing, and wine to those who are bitter of heart. Let him drink and forget his poverty, and remember his misery no more. Open your mouth for the speeches in the cause of all who are appointed to die. Open your mouth, judge righteously, and lead the cause of the poor and needy. Who can find a virtuous wife? Her worth is far above rubies. Her husband safely trusts her. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. Willing works with her hands. She brings her food from afar and provides food for her household and a portion of her maidservants. From her profits she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She extends her hand to the poor. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is law of kindness. Repeat, she opens her mouth with wisdom, and on her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. I want to repeat that one more time for all the men out there. Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies. Her husband safely trusts her. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. Willingly works with her hands. She brings her food from afar and provides food for her household and a portion for her maid servants. From her profits she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. She extends her hand to the poor. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. One more time. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Charm is deceitful and beauty is passing, but a woman who fears the Lord, she shall be praised. So that was the book of Proverbs. I've never felt and experienced so much wisdom in one book. And I want to leave you with two thoughts. Just two thoughts. I want to leave you with two thoughts before we close it. I didn't want to add too much to the book because, as I said, in the Bible and in the book of Proverbs, the Lord's words are not to be added on. They are perfect just the way they are. But if I have to give my 2 cents and give you a thought, I would say the sobering thought that everybody in this world is a slave to something. Whether you're a slave to sex and lust and women, whether you're a slave to money, which most people are, you give them a specific figure and all sense of morality leaves. Whether you're a slave to your body, whether you're a slave to your job, whether you're a slave to the things of this earth. Everybody's a slave to something. My question to you is, why not be a slave for Jesus Christ? Why not be a slave for Christianity? Because if you're a slave for Jesus Christ, you're a slave for honesty. You're a slave for love. You're a slave for forgiveness. You're a slave for kindness. You're a slave for hard work. You're a slave for sacrifice. You're a slave for standing up against the things that are evil in this world. You're a slave for standing up for yourself. You're a slave for dying for what you believe in. Why not be a slave for Jesus Christ instead of being a slave for the things of this world? You should try and aim to be a slave for Jesus Christ. Slave is a tough word. It's a very harsh word, but it's true. People involuntarily follow things of this world. Why not involuntarily follow Jesus Christ? Because so many good things will come if you follow Jesus Christ. Food for thought. Second thought, you need to try and gear your mind for abundance. If you feel that there's a lack and not enough in the world, then you feel that God has produced a world that's insufficient. In a practical aspect, if the woman that you loved does not love you back, if the woman that you really wanted rejects you, if the woman that you had a very long marriage with divorces you, she is not the only woman out there. There's so many different women that will be happy to be with you, my brother. Same thing with you, my sister. There's so many men that will be happy to be with you, my sister. If you apply for a job, you don't get accepted for the job. If you go and pitch your business and investors don't invest in your business, if you speak with people that you don't like to do business for them, but it's morally going against what you believe in, you're living in a scarce mindset, because there's always somebody that will value what you bring to the table. There's always more. There's always somebody else. There's not only one person that has money. There's not only one person that will love you. There's not only one person that will care for you. There's not only one person that will think you can be the best you can be. You have to have an abundance mindset in this life. That's the best way to honor God. Have an abundance mindset. Think that there's always more out there. There's always more to do. There's always more to achieve. There's always more if Jesus Christ is in your life. The book of Proverbs.